Oh yeah, that shouldn't have anything to do with it. How about now, guys? Can you hear us now? 2% said chickadee check.
Check.
Let us know if you can hear us now. Let us know if you can hear us now. We should be good to go. I did a quick refresh. All right. Thank y'all so much. This is LaShawn the Voicestress.
And I am Deuce Terry
again. And thank y'all. And we are here for the Late Night Hype Show. We have an amazing show tonight. One of my friends who I met through internet land, through Facebook, okay, through a mutual acquaintance, and we've been great. We've gone on some adventures together. We have joining us tonight Andrea Braxton, who is the mother and activist for Amiyah Braxton, and she's doing so many other great things in her community as well. We're going to hear about the tragic story of Amiyah Braxton a little bit later on in just a few minutes, because it's a story that needs to be told. Anywhere that there's an outlet or there's a place for this story to be shared, because there's so many elements of collusion and corruption. So we definitely want to get that told. And we're going to hashtag, if everybody can hashtag for us, justice for Amiyah, because we won't stop until this is settled and taken care of. So y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in tonight. We do want to tell you a little bit about some of the other things that we have going on before we bring our guest on. Let me make sure she has the link once again, just to be sure. There she is. All right. So we'll get her on in just a little bit.
So did they not hear us before? If you guys are tuning in and you see us on the live, let us know what city and state that you're in, and let us know what platform that you're checking in from, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, LinkedIn. Let us know where you're checking in from.
Yes, it looks like most people are from YouTube so far tonight, so that is really good. Thank y'all so much. Make sure you like and subscribe the Late Night Hype. Our platform is kind of scattered out. We do have our show going on different platforms, on a non-exclusive basis for right now. We got Southern California in the house with 2%. Welcome to the show.
Do black people say SoCal too, or is that just other people?
I have no idea.
Okay, SoCal.
All right, we got Louisiana in the building.
It's your people.
Angela Rodriguez, absolutely. And we got Kentucky in the building. Barbara Estes from Kentucky. Let's go ahead and give some shout outs. Put them on the screen. Yes, thank y'all for checking in with us tonight. Yes. So we are going to play another clip because we want you guys to know some innovative things that we are involved in. Not only do we have the After Dark radio show where we are broadcast on 8 radio stations and actually 9 radio stations. We have, of course, Late Night Hype. We have the Tipping Point podcast that is coming soon. And then, of course, we just launched out another episode of We're in the Carolinas.
Great. Best one yet.
Yeah. So We're in the Carolinas is basically where we go all over North and South Carolina, and we go on adventures. We eat, we sample food, and we just put out that episode. So if you would like to just search We're in the Carolinas on YouTube, and you will see our logo pop up. It's an animated logo, but you'll be able to tell it's us because
it looks just like
us.
We'll get to them.
Oh, mine is this one?
Yeah.
All right.
Also, while you're on YouTube, you can also check out B.O.B. Rewards podcast, Shot Black, where we are also the host. We just did a show yesterday, so it should come up right in the feed once you type it in. Great episode yesterday, rearing up for MLK Now 2024, which will be on January 13th in Iowa.
Yes, so if you guys are, any of you who are near Iowa, it's going to be in Cedar Rapids, I believe.
That's right.
Is it Cedar Rapids?
Yeah.
Okay. No, it's not Cedar Rapids. It's Cedar Rapids?
Keep going.
Okay. So, but if you Google MLKnow.com, I will type it in the chat. just in case any of you are interested, www.mlknow.
And if you're unfamiliar with B.O.B. Rewards Club or MLK Now, I'm going to give them a little backstory.
Yes, B.O.B. Rewards Club, who is one of our sponsors, is basically for Black-owned businesses. You can get into the directory, and you can also become a part of the events that take place nationwide. We're going to be opening up a chapter here pretty soon in Charlotte, North Carolina, and they are based out of Minnesota is where it was founded. Mm-hmm. They have one in South Dakota, Wisconsin, and Iowa, where the B.O.B. Rewards is taking place this year.
And for those who don't know, let them know what B.O.B. stands for.
Black-owned Business Rewards Club.
So if you are an entrepreneur, a business owner, or just minding your Black-owned business, and you love to support other Black-owned businesses, go ahead and tap in and check in with us, and we can get you the right connections to go ahead and join. What was the membership fees for that again?
Membership fees for a consumer, if you don't have a business and you just want to support and take advantage of everything, that is $10 per year. And I'm typing the website if you want to join. And if you want to become a BFAC membership, that will get you on the B.O.B. podcast. And as a, opportunities for a vendor, and then you can use the B.O.B., put your things on the B.O.B. website. And then as a regular business member, get listed in the directory and all that good stuff. And that's both of those are $25 a year.
So we said all that to say that we have a lot of platforms that we're featured on. And so we have a lot of advertisement spots available as well. So again, if you are a business owner or entrepreneur and you do want your products advertised on any of our platforms, you can contact us on deucepatricemedia@gmail.com.
That is right. And last but not least, we have musicisoursport.com. Now, this platform is innovative. It is going to be historic. It's going down January the 28th and also the 30th, which is a live show. So basically, this is a song versus song competition. And I want to play a quick clip. I'll probably fast forward through it a little bit, but I want you to learn a little bit about it. If you don't mind, just hang with us. It's about 4 minutes. I'm going to scoot through it, but I want you to understand that we have some historic things in the making. And if you know anybody who is a musician, writes songs.
Play the whole thing so it makes sense. Play the whole 4 minutes.
Okay.
We got time.
Yeah. So let's let you guys see what that's all about.
As you were saying, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, that's okay. I wanted to make sure that went out. And video, bear with me 1 second. We're gonna video. Yeah, funny. And here we go.
Top down, faded windows tinted, pushing with it, pushing to the limit.
This is NGBN TV, a network for men and home to top experts, speakers, authors, and more. Streaming TV for men, created by men.
But why?
Why are we a network that inspires,
Educates, entertains, celebrates, and supports
men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, simply to save men's lives.
There is an epidemic in our community,
and it's taking men from us?
I'm talking about mental health and suicide.
But we have an answer, and it's streaming, live shows, sports, concerts, and more.
in a real way for men to lock shields.
We can't wait to launch this TV network for you and with you.
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 Join our movement at ngbn.tv, coming January 2024.
Up until now, or welcome back. Up until now, NGBN has been an amalgamation of a lot of different web-based shows that, you know, many of them are in a podcast format. But now we're transitioning on the 29th as we launch on Roku. You'll get a sneak peek. part of being a true television network is having music. And he has combined founder Juan Thompson. Let's talk to him now. Juan, come on in, man.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you, Juan?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on, man.
So, for everybody that's watching, Juan Thompson, he has a music background, been in the music industry for many, many years, but he's also an athlete. He was a boxer and an athlete, and he has combined sport, the idea of sport competition, with music. And that all comes to fruition in a show called E-Mics that premieres on our network on January 28th. And you know what I love about this competition so much, Juan, is that it's original music and independent artists. There's nobody in the world that is doing a show with original music and independent artists. Tell us more about E-Mics.
Yeah, you said it perfectly, man. I mean, E-Mics is revolutionary, it's historic, it's groundbreaking. We are the first of our kind, the first to ever take music competition, song versus song, and conduct it as an actual professional sport. Our goal is to usher in a new way for independent artists, bands, and groups to promote and perform their music by conducting it as a sport. As you know, the music industry is very oversaturated with music. There's a lot of music that gets uploaded on Spotify every day. For the average independent artist, it's almost like a lottery for them to get recognized, So we wanted to find a new way to pretty much, give them an opportunity to promote their music in a different format where we can combine both music and sports lovers to be a part of this thing. And it's just going to be revolutionary. It's going to be very historic, and we can't wait to get it on have it on your network and do our thing.
And you know what? The thing that I'm so just excited about is giving independent artists the platform to show what they can do in a large audience. 87% of the homes in the United States and Canada is where we're going to be. So let's talk about the actual competition itself, because you've already announced round one, which begins on January 28th. You've already announced who the artists are, but let's talk about how the competition works. What happens on the 28th? What happens on the 29th? And what happens on the 30th? Because you, the viewer, are the main part of this show. You're going to have a big say in who wins and who does not. So talk to us about how the show works and the format.
Yeah, so the pregame is pretty much where we have the roster of the players that's going to compete. So when you hear me say players, I am talking about the artists, bands, and groups. So this is a combination of all of them. So when we call them players in our league, they are the players of our league. So we do have our roster for game one. The pregame show will be all about the reveal, more of the setting up who's going to be matched up, because just because we have a roster, we haven't actually set the matches yet. So that's the cool element of it, to see who's going to go against who, because you don't know it, because our league is called open genre. We made that up, actually. Open genre competition, which means that anybody can go head to head. I don't care if you rap or sing, if you're R&B, pop, rock, it does not matter. Whoever you get matched up with, you're going against them. That's just how it's going to be. And that's what makes it so fun, cool, and exciting. So the actual pregame show, again, is going to be more about the matchups. Who's going to be matched up? Who do you think is going to win these matches? And then the very next day is the actual voting round, where we will invite everybody to go to our website and actually listen to the songs that are matched up and vote. It's really simple. Listen and vote. And then on the last day, which is the post-game show, is going to be more of the reveal, where we're going to actually show the results of the actual votes, the matchups and everything, the votes and everything like that against each other. And then we're going to have the actual judges actually score the matches directly on the show live. So that's a really cool element, as well as we'll have the judges that's going to score the matches as well. And then we're going to combine the scores from the judges with the votes, and that's going to determine the winners. The really cool element about this as well is that it is a sports league. So basically the way it works is that the players compete in 6 games this year. So this game, we're doing 6 games. That's going to be roughly about 17 matches in total per each game, up to 17 matches. So each match, if you win your matches, you're going to get ranking points. Those points basically determines where you're ranked at And if you get in the top 6 by the end of the season, you're going to be in the E-Mice Cup, which is our championship game in July this year.
How amazing is that? So much like tennis and much like golf and much like other sports like that,
Right.
They compete, they earn points, they get ranked.
All right. So we didn't want to play that whole thing. It's a little long, but you get the gist of it. So there's
The reason as to why
yeah.
we're judges on the show.
Yay.
We have the opportunity to jump on the panel, help curate some of the show settings and format, and it's very exciting. We have other opportunities coming along with the show, so we just want to, reach out to everyone, let everyone know that it is coming up this month in a couple of weeks. It's a big debut for us. It's a big opportunity for us, so it's something that we're very excited about and wanting to share with everyone here tonight. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. So everybody, if you can, just go to that website, and if you can support it, we definitely appreciate it.
And if you didn't catch it, he said it's going to be on Roku TV, Apple TV, Peacock, and what else?
It's like 10 other platforms.
Also going to be broadcasted on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook as well. So wherever you find us, that's where you'll find the show.
Mm-hmm. And the network is NGBN TV. And like the commercial said, it is a network that is catered towards 40s, 50s, and 60s, but our show is going to be one of the shows with music is universal. So that has no age range. So it's going to bridge that gap and give us exposure there starting out. But what we're hoping is that we'll get picked up eventually by a larger platform. And that's what that network is doing for us. So God bless them for, just giving us that opportunity. We're super excited.
And God bless America. That network actually supports a lot of military veterans as well. So shout out to all the veterans as well as myself.
Yes, Angela, you are absolutely right. It starts on the 28th. That is where you see who's paired up with who. And then on the 29th, that is the day that you would go and vote on, the songs are paired off. You pick which ones you like. Right. The voting is free, I believe. And I think it is free. It might be $1 or something like that.
You can go to MSL.com.
No, musicoursport.com.
Yeah,
I'll post
or
the link.
NGBN, the website. You can go there and vote on the 29th.
And then the 30th is when you'll see us a little bit more, because we'll be deliberating and talking about, why we chose our songs. So we'll have our different categories.
If you're tired of American Idol, Now We See You Dance and The Voice and all those shows, not a prominently black show, not a prominently white show. It's a nice mix in between. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily rap. It's not R&B. It could be country. It depends on who votes in, who loses, and who wins. So winning is the most important part. But I was going to say we're all winners tonight, but I'm an 80s baby. So we're going for the championship. And we're excited about it. So
yes.
One more thing before we get into our interview, since we have a fairly large audience, and we talk about everything else as well. With the Tipping Point podcast that we mentioned earlier, we do have associated literature to go with the podcast.
So we have these books that give you, if you're not familiar with the industry. Sorry. I need to adjust that.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, if you're familiar with the history of the restaurant or the pink collar industry, we have this book called Tip the Damn Waitress. And what it does, it kind of gives you some history on how the pink collar industry came to be and form, the legislation, how, all of that went on behind the scenes, and how we have one industry, I'm not even going to give it away, but it's a little bit of sneakiness that went on for this industry to be one of the only industries where you can actually think about or choose if you want to pay for your service after you've already received service or not. So have you ever really thought about that? Like, why is it that I can go to a restaurant and I can be served and waiting on hand and foot, and whether or not it was bad or good, I still got the service and I decide whether I want to pay. But if you go to any other industry, whether you get something and it's good or bad, you have to pay for it up front, But the pink collar industry is not like that. And if you go back to its roots, you would understand that it was born out of slavery, and people had to find a way to still get the cheap labor. If they had a restaurant, they still wanted to find a way to get the cheap labor and not pay the workers. So that's where this comes from. Gives you a lot of history and insight on that. So you could pick that up on Etsy, or you can look it up on Amazon as well. Tip the Damn Waitress by the Voicestress and Deuce Terry. And the part 2 of that book is Black People Don't Tip. And yes, that is a very controversial title, and it's meant to be. And exactly, Angela, that's a great point. But it's called Black People Don't Tip because it's a misnomer in the restaurant industry that Black people don't tip. But there is an education gap to why that is. If you think about other cultures, when they're brought up, they are taught, the etiquette, restaurant etiquette, tipping etiquette. But when it comes to us, it's just some of us don't like to tip. And there's a lot of reasons as to why that is. And it's not totally anyone's fault per se. It's just kind of like economics and education.
But you did say culture and people's upbringing.
Cultural, yes.
Right? My grandma used to clean folks' houses.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think she paid her dues. I ain't got to pay them. You get these little $2 and keep going. I'm sorry. I'm not paying you 10 on 20. That's not going. I don't like it.
Right.
You brought me. All you did was bring me my food. That's how I feel. You refilled a couple of drinks and we fine. We done broke even at the table. And I'll be blessed and goodbye.
So there's a lot of it's a book that's meant to kind of get you a little bit emotional about it,
thinking, right?
and it does make you think about why is this the only industry where you get to choose whether you pay someone and how much you want to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So please take a look at those. You can find them on Amazon or Etsy. So
I'm working on my wings.
2% agree with you.
Of course.
So,
all right. You ready?
Yes. Without further ado, we are going to bring on our beautiful guest, Miss Andrea Braxton. Hey, hon. How are you?
How you doing?
I am doing good. Hello to everybody that was able to come out and support. Thank you guys. From Queen Bee, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I thank you. And thank you, Sean, for doing this for me again. I remember, and I can't think of his name, and I've been trying to think of his name, so you're gonna have to help me. I think the last time I saw you, I was in Atlanta, and we went to the museum. And I was sharing with them on the platform. I said, y'all have no idea, where God has really brought me from. I'm decorating museums for people that got plenty of money, and I don't even know the dude's name. What was his name?
You know what? Honestly, I can't remember either. I can't remember either, but that platform is doing pretty good. It's the hip hop museum. It's like a traveling museum adventure. Yeah, they're doing really good. Still making waves and doing good things out there. So yeah, we met there, and then we also did an interview on the fly at Music Head Studio with Ayano. Yeah,
yes.
Well,
yes.
Yeah, they call him Ya. So we met there too, and we kind of did like just like an impromptu interview, and that wasn't even technically with the late night hype. We just freestyled it, to get the information out there. And here we are again. And I'm so glad to see you. I know you just got off work.
Long day.
I seen you earlier before you went in, so I said she's gonna be tired tonight. But here we are.
So I'm pretty sure that everyone here, Sean, is pretty much familiar, I guess, with Amiyah's story. So I can kind of run through it. You can kind of tell me where you want me to be or what you want to know.
Start from the beginning.
Yeah, I tried to brief him, but I kind of want to. But you can brief it a little bit if you want to. But he doesn't know a whole lot. I did tell him a little bit, but I wanted him to kind of hear it from you. And then, I have a new audience now because we've rebranded, and they would like to hear it too.
But we discuss topics like this all the time, and it's just a travesty that it keeps happening in the country, in the places that we live. And just as well we have conversations on our other podcasts. Most cities and states is even with gentrification, unemployment, police brutality, it's the same everywhere you go. And we still get injustice, and some of the same crimes and injustice that we endured years and years ago are still happening the same as today. So that's what we know for a fact. So I'm very intrigued into hearing your story.
Let me see. Let's check it. Oh, did I do that?
I hope not.
Okay, there we go. Okay, well, I'm not sure what happened.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. So on October the 4th, it was just like a normal day. I remember doing Amiyah's hair. I'm the kind of mom, as I stated so many times, I get up in the morning, I do breakfast. Sometimes I fix hair. Sometimes I'll just, I get up, I touch the ground in the morning. I do not believe in a woman laying in bed all day. I think that's ridiculous. I think it's tacky. Get your behind up, take care of that man, take care of them kids, send them kids off to school, get them kids to daycare, do your business. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a normal day. I was doing Amiyah's hair. But at that time, I had went from selling life insurance for a company to doing it on my own. So a lot of things were being rejected. And I don't know if you guys ever had to deal with insurance, but it's a headache. It's just a headache. And they reject good people, unfortunately, for no reason. So I was dealing with some of those issues. I'm going from making maybe $1,500 a week to making $0 a week, trying to get everything done. My husband's in school, so we didn't have a lot of money. And so we were just trying to do the best that we could. I wasn't going to complain, even though, I have complained some. But I wasn't trying to be difficult, and he was already gone. So I remember telling Amiyah, I said, listen, your hair is jacked up, girl. I told her, I said, your hair is ugly. I said, but when you get home today and daddy get home, he gonna have some money. And I'm gonna go to Walmart and I'm going to get some rubber bands and I'm gonna do your hair. And she said, that's okay, mama. It's okay. Is what she said. I hugged her, told her I loved her. At the time, my baby he was 2 at the time. And so we put him in daycare because he ain't staying at home with me all day. For real, like he ain't staying at home with me all day. He got to go to daycare because I got to figure out how to sell this insurance. You get what I'm saying? I got to set up these appointments. I handle business, because I believe I'm supposed to have my own business. I don't necessarily believe I got to promote people all the time. I think I should have my own.
Right.
So I was working and all this stuff was going on. And so I got a call from a friend that I helped with a daycare. And so she asked me, could I come and could I sit with a couple of her kids until their teacher was able to make it. So I was like, yeah. So I had went up there that day, and on the way there, I hit like this bird. It like flew into my glass. It hit like hard, like bam. And then I remember crying, and I was like, man, that's crazy. And so I haven't made any secrets or anything. I was a drinker at the time. Vodka was my choice, And I was thinking, just let me get home. Just let me unwind. I had told a girl at the daycare, listen, I'm going to come up here for about an hour. But whoever your teacher is, she better be here in an hour because I got to go home. I got to work on my cases. And I just wanted, just to be honest, I just wanted to have a nice, quiet day. So I scrap up some change because, again, we were poor. I'm not going to lie. We were suffering. I mean, it was hard. So I remember at the liquor store at the counter, I remember counting out a big old Crown Royal bag of pennies. And I just wanted to relax, And so I remember calling my husband and I said, listen, I said, today I got a lot of work to do. I said, I know that you're going to get off here in a little bit. He was a barber at the time. I said, so is there any way possible that you could pick up our youngest baby from the daycare so I don't have to drive? Because I told him, I said, because I'm thinking I'm just going to sit here today. I'm going to relax a little bit. I said, I got my alarm clock set. Food was already done. I knew what time they was going to get home because I always have them on the schedule. I know that I have to be up by 5 o'clock because I know the kids are going to be home at 4:45. I know that when my oldest one get out the school bus and come in, he's going to be the first one that's going to touch a refrigerator. And then I know his sister is going to look in after him, and I know she's going to slam it after she's done. That's how I was on it.
Mm-hmm.
Slipping, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to that. And so I remember I told the clerk, I said, and this is about 1:30ish, well, maybe 12. It's about 12:30ish, almost 1. And I remember I told her, I said, if one more thing happened to me today, I'm going to lose my mind. I said, I can't handle any more bad news today. And then I grabbed my little bottle. It's not even the big bottle. I only had enough money that day to get a small bottle. You know what I'm talking about, the little head paints.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go home, and then as I'm going home, I'm reflecting. And I'm thinking, there is no way that I'm going to go broke. Like, I'm having this reason with myself. There is nothing in this world going to stop me from taking care of these kids. There is nothing in this world. There is no way in this world, because me and my husband's having a bad time, that I'm going to forsake my family. I'm having a real talk with the devil at this time. And so I remember saying, devil, I don't care what you do to me. I don't care what you take from me. Nothing is going to make me leave God. I said that. I said, nothing is going to make me, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. But I said, yet though he slay me, I will trust him.
Mm.
I said, if you're trying to turn me away from God, I said, devil, you're going to have to give me your best shot. I said, because I ain't wavering. I ain't moving. I will never curse God. I go home. I do my work. I drank on my bottle. Everything is going good. Everything is fine. I did everything I knew to do. I tried to make money. I tried to hustle. I take a nap, or I go to sleep, or it's almost like some people say, oh, no, you was just drinking off the liquor. No, I wasn't. Because if you are a person that drink every day or have certain things don't bother you like it would a person that's never drunk before. You can handle more. You can be functional. So a little bottle is not going to knock me out where it might do somebody else. So it's almost like I feel something. It felt like somebody was sitting on my chest. It's almost like I began to hear my phone ring multiple times, just over and over and over again. And I'm trying to get up, but it's almost like somebody is or something has got me like on the bed to where like I cannot move. I like, kid you not. And finally, that last final ring, when I woke up, I gasped for air. It's like I was choking. Sean, I think I've told you this before. I felt like I was choking. It's like I was fighting for my breath. It's like I was taking a last breath. It's just so hard to really.
I think medically they call it like sleep apnea, but
Sleep paralysis.
or sleep paralysis. But in the old folk terms, they call it a witch ride in your back.
Devil on your chest.
Okay.
Where you from?
Yeah, yeah. Like wild tales type.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, and so my husband said, where are you? And then I said, I'm at home. And he said, my phone been ringing because people telling me that Amiyah has been hit by a car. And I said, Amiyah ain't been hit by a car. I said, matter of fact, Amiyah is not even out of school yet. I said, it's no later than 2:30. I said, Charles, I just lay down. Like I just lay down. And so he was like, no. He was like, it's 4:30. I was like, okay. He said, I need you to get up. He said, and I need you to go and find out what happened. And it was this purple dress that I took out the dryer like weeks ago. And I could never put up the laundry. Like, I'm not lazy by no means. Like, but it's like I can never get to putting up that laundry. It's weird. Like, all of Amiyah's clothes is in there. Most of Amiyah's clothes is actually in this basket with my purple dress threw on top of it that I pulled out the dryer. And I didn't have any clothes on because I'm at home, in the bed. So I remember just pulling back the curtains and I see this horrific scene of about 8 or 9 ambulances, traffic backed on both sides, humongous fire truck. It just like everything was so much. It was a lot. So I'm like, okay, I'm dreaming. I said, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I almost went to the door without my dress on because I'm thinking, I'm tripping. I'm thinking this is a dream. So, this ain't real. And then something like clicked in my head. Something, it's almost like it spoke to me and said, you are not dreaming. You have to go. And it's almost like, y'all, I can't even tell you if I put the dress on before I even open. I can't even tell you. Something clicked. This is not a dream. This is happening. So I remember getting ready as I open the door, people are screaming, there's her mother, there's her mother, there's her mother. And then I hear somebody at the corner of I hear somebody as I'm passing, and they said, we told you she don't leave her kids at home. We told you she was in there. Now, this is people on the side as I'm going out to find out what happened. I see a car in my driveway. I see the garbage can flipped over. I don't see my son. And I'm looking around, and as I'm coming down the stairs, it's almost like I almost passed out because everything is hitting me now. Like, this is really happening. And the closer that I got to the ambulance, as I'm getting up in the ambulance, something says she's gone. As I'm getting into the ambulance. And then I'm thinking, okay, she must be gone because as we're driving to the hospital, there is no emergency lights. There is no high speed. Let's get here. There's still a chance. Matter of fact, when I got to the ambulance, she was already in the ambulance, hooked up to all the machines. So the only thing that I could put out of that is that sitting on my chest, after all this time, that was God. I honestly believe that was God sitting on my chest. Because if I would have went out there, if I would have made it out there sooner, because they had just got in the ambulance and going to leave when I came to the door. So if I would have made it out there any sooner, I probably would have saw the condition of her body. So I'm looking for my son. He's off. He's crying for whatever reason. He's got blood on his shirt. So for whatever reason, he had it on his shirt. And so I really didn't get an opportunity to ask him, like, what happened, because I got to get to the ambulance. And so the officer was like, oh, well, we was finna leave. And I was like, I'm saying you was finna leave, but I'm saying it is like, I'm trying to hurry up and get to the ambulance. I'm thinking you finna leave. So that's in my head too. Like, you finna leave. Like, you didn't even come get me. Now I leave the door unlocked because I know my kids gonna come in. I'm expecting for my kids to come in. As a parent, you can tell. You can control your sleep. Can I say it like that? If you're a parent, you know how far in the sleep to go. You know not to doze all the way out and you're expecting somebody. It's called that light sleep. Yeah. You can pretty much control that. You know not to go all the way in there. And that's how I was until my kids made it home to me. I would be in the bed, but I hear them as soon as they come in the door. For one, my front door is unlocked. Anybody can walk up in there. And then I live off the side at this time of a major highway. My front door is open. It's not locked. So I'm expecting my kids to be home soon. So I'm not trying to go all the way in there. You get what I'm saying? So they didn't even allow him to come and get me. They didn't allow my son, who witnessed the whole thing, they did not allow him to come in the house and get his mama and tell his mama that his sister been hit. They said that they were beating on the door according to law enforcement. But if you've ever been in a trailer and that door open, and they beat on the door as hard as they say, that door gonna come open.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna hear it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So they said, oh, well, we beating on the door. So I asked my son, I said, did they beat on the door? So he was like, they went to the door, mama. He said, but I know that they wouldn't let me go to the door. And then the neighbor come and tell me, she said, we told them.
We were in there.
In there. We told them that you don't let my kids are not even allowed to go outside and play without an adult out there. I don't care if it is right there. My kids was never even I didn't even allow them to go outside without me or their older sister because I know people are irresponsible and I knew where we lived at. So it's not like he was locked outside and just couldn't get in the house, or it's not like they had no way to get in contact. My daughter's laying out there trapped up under somebody's car that you having to pull off and up under there almost in pieces.
Mm.
If it was that big of an emergency and if you were really concerned about me finding out, you would have kicked the door in. Think about it. If you'd have thought I would have had some marijuana, or you thought that I was doing drugs,
Right.
or if you thought I wasn't a good mom, or you didn't like me, I'd have had runs with you, you would have made a way to get into that house.
Right.
So let's go ahead and move forward. So at this time, I have to go to the hospital. I'm waiting for everybody to get there where we find out that Amiyah passed. Now, here is so many. Now, this right here is where it gets really crazy at. While I'm at the hospital, I see no police officer whatsoever. That night, nobody came to talk to the Braxton family that night. Nobody.
Where's the statements? Where the reports?
We ain't even there yet. We ain't even about the reports. So I have to go home. I have no answers. Only thing I know that Amiyah was hit by a car, getting off a school bus. That's the only thing I knew. So I stay up all night. Of course, I can't sleep. I just lost my baby. I didn't sleep. So we got up the next morning and we go and we meet with the sheriff, Leo Mass. Ask him what happened. And he says, Karen Carpenter, because that's who done it. This ain't allegedly, this is facts. Passed the school bus and hit Amiyah. Now, at first, he didn't tell me that he was going to doctor up a police report. It's very clear to me that Amiyah was getting off on the side to walk down into the driveway just to go into the house. She never had to cross the street. So part of the reason why I was not up and alert and out there, the reason why they didn't come get me, because now let's cover up this story. That's the only way that could have happened. That's the only way that I can see. Let's cover up a story. Let's make lies up. So he tells me, well, he don't want to do anything right now because he need to see if she was on her cell phone. He need to do a toxicology report. He want to make sure, because this was the lie. He said he can go down on charges, but he can't go up. And I questioned him about that. I said, so you mean to tell, because he was saying that's double jeopardy. I'm not a police officer. So I'm going to take you at your word because I'm hurting. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take you at your word because you are the law. I have never been in any kind of trouble in Pontotoc County my whole life. I've never been in trouble. So I don't make trouble.
So, not to interrupt, so what did they want to charge him with? Vehicular homicide, right?
No, not there yet. So I'm going on, and he telling us everything that he didn't want to do. So he decided to let us know that he didn't even give her a ticket. She didn't even get a ticket. So I asked what happened. So he said that she hit Amiyah. So he said he was going to get a reconstruction scene out there, people that do the reconstruction to see. He come back. So let's see. So we go. They come by the house a couple times, asking us questions, playing like they're going to help. So then he recommends Lord Mac Johnson, who is one of the founding writers of Nathan's Law, of the Law of Mississippi, School Board Safety. And so he put me in contact with her. And so she's telling me, this was supposed to be done. This was supposed to be done. So I'm thinking that, okay, he told us this is a slam dunk case. There's nothing to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking there's nothing to worry about until the first No True Bill came out. Now, during this investigation, I was not aware that when they went to the grand jury the first time, he told me and my family that we were going to be able to speak on Amiyah's behalf. When we got there, they wouldn't let us in. So we had to sit there. Then I was trying to figure out, well, who is the DA? Who's working to help Amiyah? Who's speaking up for Amiyah? Who's my lawyer? Do you not know that I did not know who my lawyer was until a year and a half after we got the first no true bill? I called several times. When I tell you that I've been so persistent in this fight for justice for Amiyah, I've been very persistent. Very persistent. I called once a week. Nobody would return my phone call. I didn't even know what the man looked like. And I'm asking, who is speaking out for Amiyah? Like, who can I call? Like I said, I'm willing to help. I'm willing. Anything you need, let me know. I didn't get no response. So
not to say pause, just for clarity, right? Because if it happens in a black neighborhood, it's going to be on the news 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock. What did they say? They didn't release names. They didn't, you know what I mean, as to what happened or how it happened. What did they say on the news? Maybe you weren't aware, but people probably call you and tell you and let you know or message you, show the grievances. And, you know, what about the neighbors? Did they see anything? Nothing else was, what was said exactly? Okay, so what did you hear? Let's put it like that.
So actually, when I was at the hospital, I actually watched the news report.
Right.
Because it was on the big old TV while I was at the hospital.
Right.
So I kind of got like, it just said that it was an unidentified child that was hit and killed in Pontotoc County or struck. So they gave that. Now, this is what the neighbor said that was very interesting. So there was a neighbor who was outside smoking a cigarette. He said he just happened to step out. He said the bus has stopped. And he said that he noticed this car is coming. And he says, that car moving real fast with them kids trying to get out off the bus.
They're supposed to stop. It's a sign, and it's flashing, and it's against the law. First of all, so no ticket was given, but that's definitely against the law. Keep going.
So he said that he noticed, hey, she's going too fast. So he said he just kept looking. And he said before he knew it, everything just happened. He said it just happened. He said he knew when she was approaching the bus that there was no stopping. There was no turning back. So she hits and killed her. So actually, he goes in the house and he gets the blanket and they wrap her up in the blanket. And somebody that's out there that's behind the accident came up and held her hand. But he did see something. So the very interesting thing about that was I ended up having to track him down myself.
Mm-hmm.
The district attorney told us after we finally met him, and the only reason why I was able to meet John Weddle was because I said, okay, if you don't give me a meeting, this is what I'm going to do. There's several people that want to tear this town up over this. I said the family kept them at bay because we did. I asked everybody, no violence. Whatever you do not bother. And I'm sorry for all my Caucasian sisters, but I told all my brothers and sisters over here, I said, do not bother that white woman. I said, because if you do that, you're going to jail.
I didn't know that the lady was from the caucus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Keep going. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I left that out on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I wanted you to understand what I was saying before I give you a color to see if your response. Yeah, to see what your response is.
Yeah, because you got to pull the baby up on. You said they pulled her from up under the car in pieces. So was the lady there on the scene? Did she say was it a hit and run? Okay.
So it's like, so I heard multiple stories about that. So they said that when she hit Amiyah, she did try to leave. And now the sheriff said out of his own mouth, she tried to flee the scene. And he said that he asked her, what are you doing? He said, do you not know that we just had to pull a baby out from up under your car? And he said she was just standing there.
If they were willing to do a toxicology report, they're supposed to take the car in and examine that as well. Blood, DNA, material, fragment, anything. Okay, keep on. Sorry.
So as we find out this information out, we find out that there's holes in the story. So it took me 5 years to get paperwork from Amiyah's case. I only had one police report. That was it. Now on the police report, you can tell that they scripted it and they told her what to say. Because nobody in a police report that just ran over a little child and killed them is going to be calm enough to say, and I did this, and I was only going 55 miles. I slowly approached. No, you were coached to say that. But the police report that they presented to the grand jury shows Amiyah having to cross the street to get off the bus. It actually has the car and the bus in two different directions, the wrong direction, to put fault on Amiyah when that's not where the bus was. The bus was literally parked right by the driveway. Amiyah never had to cross the street. And then her 10-year-old brother at the time was right behind her. So this woman not only could have killed one of my kids, but she could have killed both of my children. They said the impact was so bad that when Amiyah went in the car, up under the car, she came out the other side and half her body was still trapped up under there. So she didn't get a ticket. And as we finally got information, we finally found out that Karen Carpenter was indeed on the phone. Found out that she was going about 75 miles an hour. I have the text records. I have them after we finally had to go through so much hell. And we also found out that they claimed that they took Karen Carpenter to the hospital that night for toxicology. Why did they take Karen Carpenter again 7 months later for another toxicology report? Why do we have Amiyah Braxton getting killed on October the 4th, 2016, and another police report saying she got killed October the 4th of 2017?
Ain't no way you can mess it up unless it was
right. Collusion.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't understand that. And then who is the judge that signed off on that second toxicology report? Why did she need a second toxicology report
a year later?
You want to know why? To match up the toxicology report.
Right. Right. And make sure your piss clean on this day. We couldn't do you the last time.
Yeah. And so that's what we've been through. We've been through that, and I've been fighting for mine for a very long time. I've had people lie on me, even when I was in there because I smelled like alcohol. The nurses were saying, "Oh, well, she must have been drunk." But see, they didn't know that I know people, and they didn't know that people knew me that worked in that hospital, and they shooting off at the mouth, and somebody caught them slipping, and they was like, "What would it have mattered if the mama was falling down drunk? The mama's not the one to hit the baby, so why y'all following the mama?"
That's right.
But so that's what I've been through, and for a very long time, it took me a long time to get over the fact, and it took me a long time because I was almost racist. To be honest, I almost hated white women. I did. They were because, and the thing about it is, I have never seen Karen Carpenter one time. I've never met her face to face.
Wow.
Even the reports and stuff that they gave me, it scribbled out her information. They gave me so many blacked out marks on the paperwork after 5 years that they even crossed out the girl mama name, her daddy name. You wanna know why? Because she's related to somebody in that police report. And they know that if I find out who she's related to, then they're gonna have to answer.
That's the only way that works like that. If they recognize somebody as soon as they come on the scene and see what's going on.
Yeah. So basically what happened here was a whole department, a whole town, a whole governmental system has come together and colluded, covered up information to give this case the proper justice that it deserves.
Damn, if we can cut this our show. God bless it. Look, damn, if I smell like vodka, I better be glad I'm not tearing up this hospital right now. I'm talking about as the sanity that you have to obtain to even go through and live through it, because it could have, you know what I mean? Could have lost it all. That's something that's not planned. It's not part of the plan. You know what I'm saying? And I can't even get an apology. Everybody has a testimony and story, but we usually see it played out on TV. It don't usually hit that close to home. Mm-hmm. But even on TV, they have a trial, and this woman will give the deepest condolences and apology for taking away your child. You don't even get that.
Angela asked the question, why did they protect her so bad? I mean, like she said, she was related to someone
It's all
in the
about who you know.
department or in the government or in the city government or somebody in the department for sure.
So this right here is what I really want to say, and this is no disrespect to Angela, to nobody, because my peeps know I love them, and I'm not a race baiter. Even though this has happened to me for a long time, I didn't even say it was because my daughter was Black. But y'all, I got to keep it 100. I feel like Amiyah did not get justice because Amiyah was an African American child. If you look at the ones that died before her and after her, she was the only African American child. The district attorney handled Amiyah's case. He handled a white boy's case, or a little white child, I'm just saying, and his name was Dylan Thomas. Dylan Thomas was killed getting on his school bus. John Weddle prosecuted that driver. This is the same DA.
And the driver was Black.
No, it was a white driver. It was a white driver.
You're saying white child, though.
White child, Black, the total opposite. But that's not the case. It was two white people involved.
So it just seemed like to me, and that's the only way, even the woman that helped put Nathan's Law together said, she said, I'm not racist. She said, but it seems like because Amiyah was Black. This is why. And again, I'm not race baiting, but I'm stating the obvious. And I mean, I'm sorry, people get mad at me and get offended. Well, walk a mile in my shoes and you be betrayed because everybody that did this to me was white. I'm sorry.
So, as you said, there were multiple cases of other children getting hit. Similar cases. And you could have followed the same format for their cases, but yours didn't go that same exact way at all.
Nothing.
You can't do nothing about it with the city, the government officials in your city. No one came to bat. No one came to fight for you. No one came to defend you. What? Brian Crump, he be in every other him.
I talked to Crump. He told me that there was nothing that he was going to be able to do to help me, that I didn't have a case. I even talked to Rashad Ritchie. I got his personal. I have his cell phone number in my phone. I got Benjamin Crump number in my phone. I got Eva Marcel husband's Michael. I got his number in my phone. LaShawn helped me.
Everything else.
Reverend Sharfter didn't even NAACP. They a joke. They fake. They phony. I reached out to them. Didn't even get a response.
It didn't have national attention for them.
So I mean, I tried everything, and then what ended up happening was we ended up losing everything. Not only did Karen Carpenter still take my daughter, she took my son's sister. I mean, this right here is a day after his birthday. So every year he celebrates his birthday. Well, the next day his sister died. She died 8 days before her birthday, October 12th. I lost a new car. I lost the ability to be able to have children. I've lost 2 cars behind this. I lost my house behind this. I was almost homeless behind this. I was depressed and stressed behind this. And then I was alone. So it's kind of like I went through a whole lot because Karen Carpenter made a mistake.
But then you have to find a way to fight.
But everybody keeps saying there's nothing else that I can do.
No, I mean, like you had to get up. You had to, come out of that depression. You have to tell your story. You have to, like you said, fight for justice.
Yeah. I mean, I've met a lot of great people doing this. I've sit in some high seats. I got people numbers in my phone that I can't even tell some people, because some people would be mad and be like, wanted. Like, I mean, I met a lot of great people, but at the end of the day, none of them really, at the end of the day, even though I met them and talked to them, they didn't come through. So what really good are they to me? That's why I don't get hyped up about Hollywood doing stuff. I don't get hyped up when Tyler Perry give somebody $5 million. You want to know why I don't get hyped up about that? Because I had Tyler Perry email somebody that worked with him, know him real well, gave me his email and said, why don't you email him because he can help you. Do you not know that I emailed Tyler Perry so long he blocked me? But they supposed to be for the people. So if we don't stand up for our own, then we can't expect for nobody else to stand up for us. And I asked, I talked to Rashad Ritchie, and, he basically told me don't call his phone no more because the district attorney can do whatever they want to do. But here he is, I'm just saying, here he is trying to expose all this stuff for views and numbers. But here I am telling you, I need your help. Help me, brother. I mean, I thought this is what you're supposed to do. Like, you got this bullpen and then you got this show. And I hope people tagging them in here too. You didn't even help me. You basically told me my daughter wasn't even worth it. So I don't get hype when these people with celebrity. Now, Willie D helped me because Willie D got 84,000 signatures for her petition. So he helped me. He brought me on his platform and he helped me. And I'm grateful to Willie D for that. I have his number too, but I don't be calling him and stuff and be bothering him and stuff like that. I don't be asking people for donations. Like, we tried to go fund me, but then people start stealing it. People start making fake pages. There's one woman who wrote a book and profited off of Maya's name.
Wow.
And was saying the N-word and all this little monkeys and dedicated the first page of her book to Amiyah.
Wow.
I've been through a lot. I've been through a whole lot. So this is where we are. And to close it out, because I got to go ahead and see hubby in a second. I ain't seen him about 8 hours. I know he's ready to see me. God, I'm going to say this because I'm getting off of because for a long time, if you follow my platform, you're going to hear a lot about God, Jesus, the end of time. You're going to hear stuff about that on there. But what I'm realizing is there's a lot of young people that's coming up who's going to face these same trials, but they're not going to have any God to call on. They're not going to know how to call God. They're not going to know. See, I knew how to call on him. And when I wasn't sleeping for 4 or 5 days at a time, and I'm wondering, I knew how to call on God to get my answer. But a lot of people not going to have that opportunity because of there's no community. Let's be honest. There's really no community. Only a few people is trying to help our young brothers and sisters come up. Only a few. But I figured out what's part of the reason why there was no justice for Amiyah. So going over to the 215 bodies.
Yeah.
215 bodies was just discovered behind Jackson State Jail.
Prison, yeah.
So my question is, how long have those bodies been there? And if the attorney generals, because I didn't petition too, if those attorney generals that I petitioned twice got them bodies back there, has something to do with that, then I think that we need to look at some integrity issues.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like every single person that feel like they have not gotten justice, all these Trump charges, all these lies told on them and their kids and their family, I feel like if everybody would get on that bandwagon and everybody complain and make a ruckus like they do George Floyd and everything else, make this ruckus, they would have to go back and review all these cases.
Right.
They're going to have to.
Was all the way back to 2016.
Yes, so it happened October the 4th, 2016.
And this, in your particular situation, not saying perfected it or they got away with it so easily. It couldn't have been the first time.
Yes, true.
They did it not even secondhand. They did it on instinct. They knew exactly what to do. And I hate that. I mean, like I said, everybody has a testimony and a story. I've had things that happened to me where I felt like after the fact that I was just not a black man. I didn't say black man. I felt like just another black man. You probably feel like just another black mama that's going through things, that's lost her child. You get no justice for your daughter because she's just another little black girl. And like I said, it's been commonly going on for years now, but you never thought it would hit home.
And then people say, oh, don't race bait. Well, how else do you look at it? Like, what other conclusion can you come through? Because that year, about 3 or 4 other kids was hit and killed getting off their school bus that same year. And everybody else managed to get justice except for the little black girl. Why?
Right.
Why?
So now let's see as far as any action that can be taken. With this new finding of the 215 bodies behind the Jackson State Prison, how can the public cause enough ruckus or, to get some movement behind it to get these people under
petition that's not going to go nowhere.
Right, to get these people under the microscope for corruption? What exactly has to happen for this to take place?
Well, what we need is for the 215 people to be identified. We need them to be identified for one, and we need to find out who they are and where they came from. And I mean, I've tried to wake the people up in Mississippi for, Sean, for 7 years.
Yeah.
I've been trying to wake them up. And I've been saying, y'all, there is something wrong here.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that's going to wake a lot of them up, unfortunately, is because they feel like they're safe because they're in Mississippi. They feel like because our things are cheaper here and it's not a lot of people that's, doing a whole lot of things, they feel like they're safe. But what they don't realize is Mississippi is worse than Chicago. It's worse than New York. It's worse than California. To have 215 bodies buried and some of them was unalive by your cops and you hid it up. And now we just not finding out it's been like this for years. So we're worse than the North. And I think people need to realize that. That means that your kids could take a trip to a game, the state finals in Jackson, and the little slightest thing, and they can come up missing.
Not come back home.
Yeah, you have no idea. So you're not in this safe zone like you think you are. And if you won't change, you got to make change. Now, one thing about me, can I just say this? I don't talk like this all the time on my platform, but can I just say it? I had to grow balls. Okay? I don't take no crap. And if you call me, and if I call you, I'll call you out on it. You see how I call names out? I don't make no bones about it because these are factual information. I have documents. I can actually prove. I can prove what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? I got real documents now. It took me 5 years to get them. So what I'm saying is, it might not happen for me now. It might not happen for me next year. But I bet you a whole bunch of dominoes gonna have to fall. A lot of these people that hear this, they gonna have to see God for what they did. They're not only gonna pay in the afterlife, but they're gonna have to pay on this life too. And I believe that this right here is just one element that it's gonna take to get the ball rolling. I can't tell you if justice is gonna come out of this for her. I can't, but justice is gonna come out of there for somebody. And a lot of people that's being wronged, they will be moved out the way. And eventually, one thing about them that we know, they're gonna take everybody down with them. We'll go and stay 20 years for Leroy. We'll just take the charge. But all them, unfortunately, are not like that. I'm being honest. One of them go down, they're gonna talk.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to say they on skin. That's just the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm.
And again, for all my brothers from other mothers and sisters from other misters, I'm not race baiting, but I'm telling the truth. And I'm saying it from a mother's perspective. And I can't keep apologizing for how I feel. I just refuse to. This is my reality. But I have enough God in me to grab love and love you to where you are. But the reality of the situation is, Amiyah Rice was violated because she was African American.
In every way.
Bottom line.
In every way.
In Mississippi at that.
In Mississippi at that.
So for all of you who have been listening to this broadcast so far, I want you to go ahead and once again #, Justice for Amiyah, no spaces, with the number 4 in the middle, because we want to re-wake that algorithm up. I also posted in the chat the link to one of the original news cases articles that I tried to share it on the screen, but I'm having a little technical issue. But you can click that link and see. In this particular article, they do have it time stamped for 2016, October 4th, 2016. But I'm pretty sure if you go back and look at some of the other ones, they'll probably be dated for the second date that they tried to run. So that would basically show you that her story is right, but they twist around a little bit of the logistics and, and it was just a very generic report. Clearly a child died, but no justice has been served. And, and I do hope that this thing with the bodies and what I want to know is, with these bodies that were behind the prisons, are their organs intact? Because that would show another level of corruption if they're killing people and selling their organs and throwing them behind the because that means somebody is getting paid like hundreds of thousands of dollars, and this is an actual operation that's been going on. and somebody's lining their pockets. So,
and you know how the state prison work,
right?
And they know how they keep stuff quiet. There's nobody within those walls or those fences that's gonna talk.
Well, actually, now this right here was the jail. So now this is not behind the prison. This right here is behind the jail. So there's not no guarantee that them people's even gonna do any jail time.
You mean the county jail?
Yes, it was the county jail. Yeah.
See,
So that's what I'm saying.
My state prison is that's different.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking
It's county.
Wow.
That's not permanent. They supposed
Right.
to go home.
Right.
These folks' family supposed to be looking out. Where my child? Where my brother? Where my daddy? And that's not going on. They're not releasing no name. Have just like with a soldier? Have they brought the flag to the door? Have they contacted, notified the people? You saying they haven't? No name.
I don't know anything right now because right now what's happening is they're trying to get enough traction, and this is something else. They're calling for an investigation.
Yeah.
Notice what I'm saying.
Automatic.
Notice what I'm saying.
They're doing it.
Call for it.
Right. Like it shouldn't be an automatic thing.
Because people
and then
lose their
PBS,
positions and then they'll mess up some money and keep going.
it's
Okay.
probably something's probably going to happen because the latest article that I just pulled was generated by PBS only 5 hours ago. So this thing is still turning. So what we need to do is keep our eyes on this, and as a unit, see how we can keep this thing going, and we'll just keep posting on all of our platforms and talking about it on our show and keep that algorithm going and keep the traction going.
I know you're trying to like close it out, but from a personal perspective, like you're supposed to say something with empathy and sympathy and try to end on a positive note, but it just makes me angry.
There is no positive note.
Right.
The only positive note that I have is that I smile and I try to work past my own emotions, and I try to work past my own doubt and sadness and promote the most important thing. Sean, I'm gonna say this and then oh my God. Okay. So do you remember when I came to the museum,
mm-hmm.
you know that I left like at a different time, right? You notice how when things got hot, I just, I got out of there. Doing this process, I've learned by telling my story, it's helping other people, and it's letting people realize that you are a lot better off than you think that you are. I have hundreds of thousands, believe it or not, of emails that I can't even answer of people who need me to help them.
Mm.
And I look at them and I say, y'all, I don't even have justice. What can I can't help you.
A resolution, right?
But I have so many people just be like, help me, help me, help me, help me, pray for me, pray for me, pray for me. So I guess that happened to me to equip me to be able to say, hey, I've been through it, but you can keep your sanity. Because I didn't snap. I didn't turn into a whore. I didn't go out and start doing drugs. I didn't start slapping my husband and my kids. I got closer to the cross. But that's all I knew to do. So that's what it is. So it ain't no silver lining. This ain't no happy story. This ain't no great ending. I got a whole script somebody was ready to put into Hollywood, but I didn't even have an ending.
Mm.
The thing to stop me from having a movie about my daughter is why I don't have an ending.
Right.
So the only thing that I can do is create an ending. And my ending is going to be, until my last breath, I'm going to have to fight for it. But I'm going to have to do it a different way. And that comes from waiting on God and loving my enemy. And that's it. That's it.
And I will say this, to know Andrea in person, like you guys get just a snapshot of who she is in person. To know her in person, you would never know that she had been through something. You would never know she had been through something like this. She is just strong and resilient and just an amazing person. And I'm blessed to have known and met you, because just some people are equipped to handle it and some people can't. And you are definitely one of the chosen ones. You are a frontline soldier, and you are out here showing us how it's supposed to be done. Tell us about your podcast.
So it's on Fair Media. It's Queen Bee, and you will find it under. You will have to Google. You have to go under Corey Fair and Queen Bee. Somebody put the link up. 2%. Barbara, Angela. One of y'all put the link in the comments for me. Oh yeah, I think you have it, Sean. And then also there is a book too as well. I'm still doing. I want to change the cover. A lot of you guys been asking me about it on Queen Bee. I'm not ready for that yet. To give it to you guys yet, but as soon as I'm ready, Sean, I think you have it. But I will give it to you guys later. I got to fix the cover of it. So there is a book. Too. There is a script that's being done. And apparently I'm getting new interviews now. So I'm ready.
Amazing. We're definitely going to see how we can contribute on the back end. So when you're ready to start pushing that out, let us know so we can get it out on the radio and point people to your platform. So
I appreciate it.
We'll follow your lead on that. And
Queen Bee is ready. Queen Bee is mixed content. Queen Bee got some Jesus on there. Like I said, you got some other things, but I am changing some things around because I do need to try to reach the younger generation that's going to be faced with obstacles, that's going to need something. So when I get them over there, when I tap into their world and get them over there, once they sit for a minute, they'll be able to pick up on some how they can come alive again over there too. So, but it's all gonna be worked out.
Well, we are ready. Just let me know.
Thank you.
In the meantime, I love you.
I love you too. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And you have a wonderful night. Tell the family you said hello.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Okay. All right. Bye, guys.
Well, she didn't even shut it down. She was going to go see her husband. So yeah, that's why I wanted her to tell it. Yeah, it's very, very disturbing and upsetting no matter how you put it. And she was just saying like there is no ending, when a lot of movies that go off like that, and when they don't have an ending, it just will give you a paragraph of such and such and such is still happening to this very day, and Amiyah is one of, so it could end, but it's still, even those are inconclusive, and we don't really like those. They're almost like cliffhangers to say, and justice is still uncertain. Like, who wants to end their story like that, But the fact that you can tell she is one of the most resilient, beautiful, friendly people that I've ever met in my whole entire life. Like I said, I met her in person, and we've been together on 2 different occasions, and you would never be able to tell she's been through something like that, something as awful as that.
I think, like I said, everybody has a testimony, and I want to say this, and I'll make sure I say it the right way, the politically correct way, not to offend anybody. If you're black and you're a black woman and you're a strong black woman and you have to be a strong black woman all the time, it's okay to cry. It's okay to let it go. Go in your prayer closet, whatever you need to do to keep your sanity. It's okay. Stories like these, like I said, people can relate to the utmost. It may have happened to you, and you can reach out, like I said, on her platform or her podcast, and just try to come up with some solutions and resolutions, because they have questions that have gone unanswered for years now. And imagine if that was your child.
Going on in 2 years, it'll be 10 whole years.
That's not right.
Since we lost Amiyah. And that was the condensed version of the story, actually. Right. They actually tried to even use her with the politics in town, and when she wouldn't allow herself to be used to, for people to get votes. Like, it's a lot. That was
trying to probably make it seem like she was crazy.
Yeah, that was the condensed.
That's usually the go-to, right?
Yeah, that was the condensed, watered down version. Telling the front end of just basically what happened, but there was a lot of twists and turns, and and she's just been resilient. It's amazing that she hadn't lost it, because
me personally.
Yeah, we know you. that wouldn't have went at like that at all, probably. But
I just got baptized recently. I ain't always been like this. God bless.
Yes.
Jesus.
But yeah, she's just amazing. So this is probably one of the heaviest shows that we've had. Very sobering. It's still a part of our reality, that we go through as African Americans, and Mississippi is still one of the strongest states that holds on to that legacy. So many rumors are still say to this day that there's hidden plantations where there's still people that don't even know that they're free. We can't.
They made a movie about that.
They made a movie about that. We can't prove whether that's a thing or not. But it's very plausible with how the politics in Mississippi are, and hopefully this incident that has been discovered are the blood of these people calling out to God. You know how it says in the Bible, the blood called out to God, the spilled blood calls out, and
it's
triggers.
It's so much spilled blood. Some of the folks don't drink the water down there. We talking about Mississippi.
Yes.
It has a history of injustice.
Yes, 2%. That is actually, if you Google that, there are antebellum was based on that theory that there are still plantations that sit miles and miles and miles off of the main road.
They made one with Kiki Palmer too.
Yeah, that people still don't know that they're free.
Two totally different movies, and they are the same thing.
Yeah, and they're still on plantations and have no idea that that they're free.
They're breeding black people and still have crops, fields, and picking cotton to this day. No one never told them about what's it called? Emancipation.
Mm-hmm.
Proclamation.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So again, thanks to Miss Andrea Braxton for coming on and telling. It doesn't, and she's always so strong when she comes on, but it's a fresh thing every time she tells a story. I know it's still opening that wound back up. And the thing about it is she's willing to do it because she knows that that's a part of the journey, and that is what has to be done in order for, that's how we keep Amiyah alive. As long as we're calling her name and we're mentioning her name and we're not forgetting her, we're not letting her die out without getting justice served for her. So the one thing that you can do right now is click that link for the podcast that we showed, her podcast. Go like, subscribe, follow, support, donate, strengthen her platform. That will definitely be a great way to start out. Someone asked her how we could help her. That would definitely be a great start. Go to her podcast, like, share, subscribe, donate. Yes, 2%. Mississippi is
even
still
if you know
anyone
that with a legal team that covers cases like these, even if they do a pro bono, just send them her way.
And one thing I do know, like when you have injustices, it's best to get someone that is not from the same state or locale, because that's where the collusion. I'm not going to say stories that I know, but I know that it does happen. So it's best to get people from outside of the city and state that have license, maybe like in a tri-state area or something like that. But we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I could talk about this forever because, it's just one of those things that, we want to help, but our hands are tied, but they're really not tied, because even the most minute things that we can do are part of the process of doing the right thing for Amiyah. So with that, we're going to close out, but just know that because we do have a wide reach on so many platforms. If you're looking for any type of small business advertising, you can reach out to us. Our email has been scrolling below on the marquee. So get in touch with us for any needs, or if you have any interesting stories, interesting people, entrepreneurs that are looking for a platform to talk about what they have going on, let us know. Thank y'all so much. This has been another episode of The Late Night Hype. I am your hostess, Sean the Voicestress.
And I'm Deuce Terry, and I'm still working on my wings.
And with that, we will say thank y'all so much and have a wonderful night.
Till next time. Bye-bye.
Till next time.